Welcome to Dual Diagnosis Anonymous. My name is Johnny, and I am dual diagnosed. Can we please take a moment of silence, followed by the serenity prayer? God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I want to welcome everyone to DDA. This is another Friday that we made it to, and I thank God for that. I want to give a shout out to all my DDA members. And once again, I love you guys. Hope you all doing well. Don't forget to call me and check in, and I'll call you so we can check in on one another to make sure each one of us are okay. There's a lot going on in the world today, and we all are fully aware of it. Some of it we understand, and some of it we don't understand. I'm watching the news, and I see how people are having a bunch of controversy about staying at home and going back to work. Some people are ready, some people are not quite ready. And it's causing people to have a bunch of mixed emotions. Now, the thing about mixed emotions is you can have external mixed emotions, which is the things that's going on around you, and you can have internal mixed emotions, which is the things that's going on inside of you. I know myself personally, I've been dealing with a lot of mixed emotions here lately. For example, I went home not long ago to visit my auntie before she passed, and my cousin was there. And my cousin, out of nowhere, he said that, hey, old boy is out of prison. And at first I didn't catch what he was talking about, and then I was like, what did you say? He said, old boy is out of prison. Now, this old boy that he's talking about is someone that committed a heinous crime back in the 80s that I was an eyewitness to. And lo and behold, now remember, as a child, after I witnessed this brutal incident, as a child, it caused me to have nightmares and night terrors. And one of my biggest fears as a kid, I was thinking that one day that he was going to get out and he was going to try to take my life. So it caused me to have a bunch of mixed emotions when he shared that with me, because that's not something that you just share with someone that's been through some kind of trauma like that. And so I came back to Tulsa, and I went to my meeting, and I thought I was using my coping skills. I shared it with my group, and everything seemed to be okay. And then one night at work, I was sitting down on the hall, and out of nowhere, all these feelings came in, and I could not get a handle on them at all. So I started feeling some kind of way again. So I called the young lady who was a part of the incident, because I knew that I couldn't just share this with anyone, because that's on a whole nother level than anyone can imagine. And once me and her talked about it, I realized real quickly that when I shared my mixed emotions with her, it caused her to have mixed emotions. So then I knew I needed a solution to my problem, because I wasn't getting anywhere. So I called my sister, and I asked my sister if she can look up and see if this guy was still in prison. And like my little sister is, she did. She sent me the information. It showed that he was still locked up. He wasn't getting out. They gave him a life sentence. She gave me all the information. And at that point, I was able to finally deal with my mixed emotions and move on. So today I want to talk about how to deal with mixed emotions. And again, like every one of my groups that I do, you got to first understand what mixed emotions are. And there are 8 different types of emotions that we deal with, and that's why they call it mixed emotions. And if you're not paying attention to it and you're not educated about this kind of stuff, you'll find yourself being caught up in a vortex of all of these emotions at one time. So what are mixed emotions? Emotions can be classified into primary and complex. There are at least 8 primary or basic emotions: interest, joy, distress, anger, fear, anxiety, surprise, and disgust, associated with a single expression. A smile is recognized in all cultures as a signal of happiness and social welcome, while weeping is understood to be a signal of sadness. The complex emotions include jealousy, guilt, shame, sympathy, pride, gratitude, and contempt. Complex emotions have cognitive content. For example, the emotion of envy is triggered by the thought of the possession of others. Shame is a painful emotion responding to a sense of failure to attain some ideal state. In mixed emotions, a person can feel sad and happy at the same time. These feelings tend to be contradictory. For example, in the movie Life is Beautiful, a father seeks to keep his child's spirit up while they are in the concentration camp. Research shows that viewers experience mixed feelings of happiness and sadness. The sadness that follows a mother's death is often combined with guilt over a past failure to be sufficiently associated to the parent when she was alive. Nostalgia consists of the mixture of pleasure coming from the memory of something lived and the pain caused by that event being permanently gone. Students graduating from college can tend to feel both happy and sad. Historically, philosophers have assumed that mixed emotions are derived from primary emotions. Psychologist Robert Pochik explains this idea by drawing an analogy between the perception of color and emotions. The primary pigment colors, red and blue and yellow. The secondary colors are purple, orange, and green, which are obtained by mixing two primary colors. Combining these few colors at different intensities produces medians of colors. Neither colors nor emotions are clear-cut categories with sharp boundaries. By mixing two or more emotions, happiness, sadness, fear, are discussed at different intensity levels, it is possible to create hundreds of terms representing the language of emotion. For example, the mixture of joy and acceptance produces the mixed emotions of love. By blending the disgust and anger produced the mixed emotion state of contempt of hate or hatred. Fear and anger give rise to jealousy. Jealousy stems from the suspicion that the third person might displace us in a relationship with someone we love. The combination of fear and anger also produce the feeling of urgency for closure, such as the preference for early actions after September 11th in 2001. Which emotions will influence behavior? The strongest emotions get actions priority. For example, consider the mixed emotions of divorce. Husbands' reactions are often dominated by anger. A therapeutic goal in these situations is to help them recognize that some of their negative emotions may come from sadness, hurt, feelings, and fear. So here are some strategies for managing multiple emotions. Number 1, observe your feelings and don't judge them. Catch if you are pressuring yourself to feel what others think you should feel. You will just be adding unnecessary confusion or guilt to the emotions you are already juggling. Observe your own multiple emotions instead with interests of self-support. Observe changes too, as your brain digests the many mixed emotions. Some will become major motivators and others will become background. Get to know yourself as you are, not as others think you should be. Number 2, don't live and don't relive. We are resilient and built for daily life. As we help others focus on work, share events, make plans, and have moments of laughter, we should try to gather positive emotions and dilute the negative ones. Believing you must work through past emotions before you can participate in daily life delays healing and prolongs the anxiety of sadness. Delaying fertility treatment. If your body is ready for a miscarriage, for example, may mean missing an age-related widow of opportunity to use your own eggs. Delaying dating for years after a divorce may mean missing an opportunity for bonding and companionship. Delaying job hunting after a company reorganization may mean missing an opportunity to have your worth reaffirmed. The resolution for the past is often in the future. Number 3, talk or don't talk. Even though the popular notion is to express your conflicting feelings in order to help you sort them out, the research says not so much. A study in the Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology of more than 2,000 people found that those who did not express their many emotional reactions after September 11th showed fewer signs of distress later on than those who did. For some, it seems that talking is cathartic because you get to hear yourself out loud, and that helps you clarify your feelings. For others, it's a rehearsal and a reminder of the negative feelings and holds you back. Again, the key is to know yourself and what you need. Number 4, find friends, don't find excuses. Don't use mixed emotions for multiple feelings as an excuse to withdraw from friends. When you are dealing with mixed emotions, you need distractions, entertainment, and different perspectives. But not any friend will do. Whether you share your feelings with them or not, surround yourself with supportive friends because being around others who care about you helps you to care about yourself. And number 5, organize, don't multitask. Clean your closet, arrange the garage, resort your wallet. It works because our brain responds not only to all mixed feelings as disorganizing emotional chaos, but it also responds to all organizing actions as taking emotional control. Every time your sense of control goes up, stress goes down. But make sure that you do only one project at a time. Multitasking when you are already dealing with multiple emotions will leave you feeling even more out of control, since the brain is really switching attention from task to task, not doing 2 at one time. Number 6, pause, don't panic. While your brain and body are trying to sort, digest, and organize your many emotions after an unexpected event or life crisis, the rest of you needs peace and quiet. That doesn't mean that you will get it, but you can create islands of peace and moments of quiet for yourself. Herbert Benson, MD, of Harvard University, finds that a total of just 20 minutes of pausing a day can decrease stress symptoms by almost 50%. That's a total of 20 minutes a day, 5 minutes of breathing, exercise in a slow elevator, 5 minutes of progressive muscle relaxation on a long line, or 10 minutes of walking and meditation all count toward a total. To increase your patience with your emotional progress, you can also hum a tune, sing a song, or listen to music slower than your heartbeat, 72 beats a minute, to calm your breathing. Or phone a friend, do a crossword puzzle, get a back rub, say a prayer, pet an animal, draw a picture, or take a photograph. Like mindfulness, pausing stops you from reliving the past and pre-living the future. It brings you back to the present. After all, the present is the only place you can really sort your feelings. And since there's no marker to tell you that your emotional confusion is over and you're ready to move on, you will only know once you try. So try some of these different tactics, and hopefully you'll find that the ones that work for you when you're juggling multiple emotions. We may not know what life will bring next, but at least we can learn how to best handle whatever it brings. How are you dealing with your mixed emotions? Mixed emotions, we all have them. They come to us in many, many different ways. If you're a parent and it's time for your child to get out on their own, you can really find yourself having a bunch of mixed emotions. Now, I know I'm a father and I'm a daddy. I'm both. And sometimes as a parent, you try to make the best decisions for your children. But your children become a part of you. They are a part of you. And so when it's time for you to help them to get out on their own, to spread their wings like an eagle and fly, that can be one of the hardest things for a parent to do. And this is something that I've just experienced. I had a mixture of happiness and I had a mixture of sadness, and I'm still processing it, and that's the motivation for me doing this meeting this Friday. Because this is how I work on me. This is how I process things, you know. And then I had an incident at work. You know, remember at the beginning of the video I talked about external and internal. Well, my son is internal to me. My kids are internal to me. My job is external. I had another incident at work where a few years ago a young lady wanted to leave the hospital because she didn't want to be there. And so at the hospital, when a person is high risk, they do what they call a one-on-one, where you sit with them. You watch them. Everywhere they go, you go with them to protect them from themselves and from others. So the young lady decided that she wanted to hurt herself. I sat with this young lady for 16 hours a day, 5 days a week, doing everything that I can to make sure that she don't hurt herself. Well, it got to the point to where she was so determined that she wanted to hurt herself that eventually she was successful. Now, lo and behold, as a healthcare worker, our job is safety first. But we can't protect them all the time. So the lady she hurt herself, and we sent her to the hospital. She got out the hospital, they sent her back to us. At this time, she experienced trauma, and I experienced trauma, because I knew that what she did was intentionally, and she knew that what she did was intentionally. So to kind of make a long story short, I haven't seen the young lady since the incident happened. She sued the hospital. She beat them. She beat them because, like I said, she was a patient. So she got a lawsuit. They slandered me. They made me look like I was a bad villain, like I was the one that hurt her. And all I got out of it was a bunch of trauma that I cannot get rid of. So I went to work last week, and lo and behold, this young lady was on my unit. And immediately I started having mixed emotions. I started feeling anger. I started feeling hurt. I started feeling betrayed. Remember, there are 8 different types of mixed emotions that we deal with. I started feeling each and every one of them. So I called my lead person and I told them, hey, look, I can't be on the unit with this young lady because right now she's my trigger. And in order for me to to deal with my triggers, I have to get away from whatever it is that's triggering me. This is Recovery 101. So they switched units. I went downstairs, and just the thought of me knowing that she was upstairs kept causing me to have mixed emotions. So the next day, I told them that I needed a mental health day. I took off. I went and I cut some yards because I had to remember, you can't feed your diagnosis. Whatever it is that's feeding you, you have to cut the source. And so I just switched my whole thinking pattern. I went and I started doing lawns. I took a day to myself so that I'm doing the things that I enjoy doing so that I can change those emotions. And the things that's on that paper are the things that I put on that paper because those are the things that I do. And then I went back to work the next day, the next night. Now, I did not go back to the unit, but I did feel better about going back to work because because I finally was able to sort my emotions out and deal with them individually and collectively. So if you like me and you're a parent and you're having problems with your child and you're having mixed emotions about what you need to do, follow these tips. Use what works for you. Pick out what works for you. Not everything will work for everybody, but that's why I put so many things on there, so that you can put certain things on there that works for you. You might be in a relationship that is stressful. You might be with someone that you really don't want to be with, but due to your current situation, financial situation, you can't leave. All right, the children might be involved. They might be threatening you about the child, or whatever it is that you're dealing with in your internal situation. It's causing you to have mixed emotions. Play this video back and reread and listen to what the solutions are. If your job is causing you to have mixed emotions, again, look at this video, because your feelings are valid. All of our feelings are valid. But you don't want to go on having mixed emotions and not dealing with your mixed emotions, because that can cause you to act crazy, even though you're not. It's just you're all over the place. And when you're all over the place, it's probably because you're having all these different emotions at one time. And it can cause you to have really bad anxiety. Mixed emotions do affect your mental health. A lot of the things that we do, how we act and how we behave, and the things that we do and don't do, believe me, it affects your mental health. A lot of people say, I don't have mental health problems. I'm sorry to tell you that, but hell, all of us do. All of us have some kind of diagnosis. We may not be educated in that area to understand it, but I guarantee you all of us have some kind of diagnosis. It tickles me when people say, well, I don't have any addictions. Everybody has some kind of addiction. The only thing different is there's healthy addictions and there's unhealthy addictions. But everybody has them. Just like all of us have some kind of diagnosis. Stress, that's a diagnosis. Anxiety, that's a diagnosis. Depression, that's a diagnosis. There's something wrong with all of us. None of us is perfect. And I'm glad that I'm not perfect. I'm glad that Jesus was the only perfect person that I know of. I'm grateful for these meetings. I feel so much better now that I've talked about this and I've shared with you not only how it affected me, but how I dealt with it. See, if you're going to talk about a problem, talk about a solution. That's how you help people. You don't help people by sharing advice, because most of the time you're giving advice that you don't even follow. But if you're going to help someone, tell them what happened to you. Tell them how it made you feel, and then share with them how you processed it, just like I did. Like I said, as a parent, you're going to have mixed emotion when it's time for you to let your child go so they can grow up. You're going to feel some kind of way. You're going to feel like you made a bad choice. You're going to feel like you failed them. You're going to feel like you've let them down. But then on the other side of that, you're going to feel good because you know that you're doing the right thing. You know you're not enabling them, and you know that at some point they gotta spread their wings and fly. If you don't let them grow up, they'll never grow up. So you're going to have a bunch of mixed emotions. So I thank God for allowing me to make this video. I thank God for the viewers that watch these videos. The more I do them, the more confident I become in doing these videos. I don't have a problem with doing them face-to-face live, but it takes some adjustment when it comes to doing videos when you don't have people to feed from. So as I get ready to close, I want to thank you all for tuning in and subscribing to this. And again, you're more than welcome to share these videos with your family and friends, because everybody got some kind of problems. A lot of people just don't like talking about them. This is not about the addict and the alcoholic. I'm talking about living life on life terms. That's my struggle. I'm still growing up at the age of 51, and I thank God that I'm still growing up, because if you're still growing up, that means you're still learning. So as I get ready to close, I want to thank, again, my DDA members. I want to thank God. I want to thank my boys for loving me. And I just want them to know how much I love them. They make me. They make me complete. They make me whole. And when they're not in your life, when your child is not in your life, it makes you feel empty. I forgot one of my readings, so if you don't mind, I'm going to have to go back here for a minute and grab it so that I can get ready to close out. So just bear with me just a second. I don't want this to be like a bootleg video or nothing like that, so y'all just excuse the darkness, but at least I'm back in the light. All right. As I always say at DDA, we always close out a certain way. So remember, my question that I asked at the end of the reading: how are you dealing with your mixed emotions? That's a powerful question. And if you can't answer that, I think you might want to play this video again and try some of the solutions that I've laid out for you. So just for today, in DDA, just for today, I will focus on my DDA recovery program of the 12 steps plus 5. Just for today, I will remain clean and sober, and if I am taking medications, I will do so as prescribed. Just for today, I will keep an open mind and be willing to listen to the advice of my DDA support group, my prescriber, and my clinician. Just for today, I will allow myself to have faith in someone in the DDA program who has faith in me and my recovery. Just for today, I will have a program. I recognize that I may make mistakes along the way, but I will follow the DDA program to the best of my ability. Just for today, I will utilize the DDA program of shared experiences, strength, solidarity, and hope in order to gain a better perspective on my life. Just for today, I will not dwell on the past or place undue concern on the future. Just for today, I will not grant fear or worry space in my thoughts. By choosing to live one day at a time, and by following the principles of DDA, I need not be afraid. Just for today, I will see how working an honest program is helping others and allow the blessings of my higher power to flow throughout my life. Just for today, I would allow myself to be me. I would accept myself from whom I am and where I am. If I will follow others the same, I will allow others the same courtesy that they may be free to grow and that I may be free from the burden of resentment. Just for today, I will live and let live. If I become unable to do this, then I will place trust in my higher power and remind myself to just let go and let God. Just for today, I will live life on life terms. And by doing so, I will recognize when I need support for symptoms of my dual diagnosis or when I'm in danger of relapse. I will seek help from the fellowship of DDA, my higher power, my prescriber, and my clinician. Just for today. And as we get ready to close, I want to thank God for everything that He does for us. I want to thank Him for His power. I want to thank Him for His love. I want to thank Him for His unwavering peace, His omnipresent presence. I mean, without God, we are nothing. With God, we are something. So, Father, I thank you today for allowing us to come together through video, through the internet, to carry your message of peace throughout the world. I pray for each person that watches this video. I pray that their mixed emotions be sorted out. I pray that they learn to get to the root of their problem instead of just talking about their problems. Help them to focus on the solutions. There is solutions in the world. We just have to seek them. I pray that until the next video, I pray that hearts be touched and lives be changed. I pray that the coronavirus, I pray that people continue to practice safety, Father, to keep safety first. But Father, my main prayer is that they don't put nothing before you. So as we close today, Father, we just want to thank you. We want to give you all the glory and give you all the honor and give you all the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. You all have a wonderful weekend. You all have a blessed week. And I'll see you again on next Friday. God bless you.